El Umber. Yeah, you
The
do.
Costa
Is it the
Concordia.
tattoos or the hair? All right, chat. Listen, this is a great story. This is a little bit of true crime, a little bit of funny, and a little bit of boats. I love boat content. I don't know. Boat content is fun. I've been bowling once. I'm a pretty good bowler. It's just like in my bones, my fingers and holes, and to pick up balls and to roll them. You know what I mean?
The Costa Concordia. Ship of dreams.
You heard me, Umi.
It's been 8
But I love it.
years. I can still smell the buffets
You guys ever been on a cruise ship? I've only been on one.
from their 5
Yeah,
restaurants.
just one.
The casino and 3-story theater had hardly
Hell yeah,
been
DC.
used. Ah,
I guess I've been on
gym.
so many. I've been on so many big giant yachts and boats, and you guys haven't. Cool. Real nice. What up, Joshua? Cruise ship scarred me. You watched Titanic one time? I'm kidding me. I've never been on a cruise ship before. I can tell. I'm kidding. Bowling is a euphemism. Yeah. Duh. Bro, bowling is the most sexual sport. You can't tell me it's not. Never been on the ocean. I don't want to get on. I never go out deep in the ocean on any boat unless it's a cruise ship because like other boats are small, they can get swallowed up by the water. And I mean even cruise ships can crash and get swallowed up by shit.
The day spa. The
That's
sheets
nice.
in her 1,500 luxurious cabins hadn't even
It
been
was starry
slept
at
in.
night. It's a weird feeling when you're out in the middle and all you see is water and nothing else.
Costa Concordia cost $570 million to build.
That's it.
And you can
That's got nothing on Oom's boat. Trust me, chat. Oom's got a big boat.
tell
I'm scared of
you
sharks.
could really
Yeah, I love the beach, but I don't like the ocean. I like to look at it and like go up to my knees, but I don't like the ocean because I know things could kill me.
tell.
I like to lay on the beach. Me too, beach facing girl. But same.
I remember it like it was just a few years ago. We had
How?
left Civitavecchia.
You were escaping Alcatraz more like I was like, yeah, I've been to Alcatraz on a boat. Yeah, you were on those I heard this story about how these people escaped Alcatraz. They took a bunch of ponchos and they filled them with air and they sewed them together and made a boat. And that was probably Alu.
A port in Rome, and we were making our way to
I used
Savona.
to think Alcatraz and Azkaban were the same things, but one's from Harry Potter.
It was day 2 of our 7-day journey. But that ship, she was cursed.
I did too. Yeah, bro. I was like, damn, they got Dementors and shit out there.
When she premiered, the traditional bottle of
Pacey.
champagne bounced right off the side instead of smashing. A bad omen. But I'm not the superstitious type. Nothing could go wrong on Friday the 13th of January, 2012.
Why would they launch the boat on Friday the 13th after the wine bottle didn't break?
On the 100th year anniversary of the Titanic, on a ship that's also only safety rated for 2-compartment flooding, especially not when you have a 5-star max level captain like Francisco Scatino, a man who mysteriously rose from head of security to the position of captain.
Listen, I'm not no narc. Don't worry, bro. Listen, after that one video we watched where we saw how corrupt police are, honestly, I'm on the side of criminals from now on.
In just a couple of years,
Friday the 13th.
he knows exactly
let's all go get Friday the 13th tattoos this year.
What to do in case of an emergency.
For
example, when he caused this emergency in 2008, when he crashed into a port in Sicily. And in 2010, in Warnemünde, Germany, when he was steering a different ship and came into port too fast and caused another collision.
Damn! Bro still has his license? That's crazy. How do you even get a cruise ship license?
I've got a good feeling about this. So let's set the scene. It's a beautiful evening. People are having fun on the slides, drinks at the bar. Antonio Magnot.
Listen, chat. I've been cooking some shit up with Turk. I hope Turk's serious. When he comes in, I'll see he's serious. We might be having a cynicalul pool party DJ'd by yours truly in Texas this year. Texas. So, some Texas. I don't know where I'm going with that, but you get the point.
Is playing piano at the restaurant.
Bro, when I watched Titanic, I was so confused, but there was tits in it, and I was a kid, so I was like, I'm down with it. Let's go.
Martin the
I'd
magician
be
is
so
setting up
down.
for his show,
Oh, party!
and the
Ooh,
ship
party!
is setting up for a little detour.
Hey,
It's
hey.
called a sail by
You
salute.
ride horses.
Basically,
It's just that
you get real close.
one of Alucard's euphemisms. Get it? Euphemism? Get it? We'll be pulling up. Bro, you're gonna be one of the scripters I'm hiring. I would love to. Listen, we're gonna make that shit pop off.
To the shore and honk the horn.
I cried
The
watching
locals hate
Titanic.
it, but the
Hey,
customers love it,
bring.
and it's a tradition. Scatino, the captain,
Titanic
comes
was
into the
sad.
dining hall with the lady, Dominica Samorton. Remember this face because you'll be seeing a lot of it
She looks like a salamander.
later. Scatino eats his dinner with her and socializes for a little while.
Me
Then he,
socializing.
Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge. It's time for that sail by salute. This time, they're going to get closer than ever. Just 1,500 feet from the island of Giglio. And how
Giglio? The fuck?
are they going to determine this
I'm
distance?
pulling up.
Well, of course, the captain is going
Listen, Sin knows what the people wants. I might not be good at a lot of things, but I know what the people want. Funds, I've got ends. Listen, Torque's got a great location. He sent me some pictures of it in his near where he lives, and he says people like rent it out for parties and like there's like area to stand around and shit. And so if we can get that and there's not like noise problems, like if that's not a thing, you know, that could be a possibility.
to eyeball it. Apparently,
That's
it's not an
me.
uncommon thing to do. Scatino turns to the fella steering, his helmsman,
Is that a Sims
Jacob
target?
Ruslibin. First interesting tidbit. Costa Crociere has
Texas.
hired Jacob from
I don't
Indonesia
remember.
at a rock bottom price. And he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto,
Big
a painter
stay.
and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive ship, and he's very excited. At
Me.
least, we think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all.
Knows area.
Off to a good start.
I was like, his address and coordinates are this. Look it up. Vampire.
The second in command orders the helmsman to 290. Now, to be
Start saving up your pounds. Start saving your bloody pounds. Stop saving some quits. Because we're gonna get you on a plane. You and Stitch are gonna get on an aeroplane, and we're gonna sell you over the pond. All right? Texas is dead close. I
confused
spawned
by
in.
these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time, the captain whips out
I
his
never
cell
been able
phone
to read a
and
compass.
calls former captain Mario Palombo, who lives on the island. They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual. Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore. The captain is going all in. This is not his first sail by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing. We're going closer than we've ever been before. The captain's eyeballing it again. New heading of 300, he tells the helmsman. Downstairs, Martin is about to cut his assistant in half. And of course, that means that there's already a lady inside this
The
box.
British accent.
She's
I'm part British, actually. If you didn't know, if you couldn't tell by my accent. Myself some
waiting for the
nachos.
cue, and then she'll poke her legs out.
It's rough.
The captain is giving more orders.
So,
Pulling
I'm not
gently
sure.
to 310.
I'm not
Increase
1,000%
speed
sure.
to
I
16
just got
knots.
this idea
Going
today.
this fast
Or
is going to be
yesterday.
a fatal error. But before we talk about that,
But I'm
let's
ahead of
talk about
Torque.
another
We'll
big
see how
problem.
It goes.
Language barrier. Because at this point, the captain says
Pass,
325,
Mamma Mia.
but the helmsman relays 315. So the first officer intervenes, and he goes, no, 335, which is also wrong. And then the captain clarifies, no, 325. The helmsman confirms 325. Their poor communication has them moving at a much wider angle than they think they are. However,
Damn.
the captain should and would know this, except for the next problem, complacency about procedure. The standard procedure of a ship this
kills.
large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every time the captain gives a new directional order. But they're not doing that. 330, he says. The helmsman relays
Exactly,
330.
fam.
The ship reaches 16 knots. The captain then turns to the second officer and instructs him to go to the left wing. That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel. A few seconds pass, and then
Chat, things are
the
getting
mood
scary.
starts to turn.
Chat, everyone hold hands. Things are about to get scary. Hold hands. The ones you get, the ones I'm gonna wet their panties. Ew, panties is such a gross word.
Schettino notices
Undies.
white foam of waves breaking against the rocks directly in front of him in the distance. The Costa Concordia, right now, is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be, without deviation.
Can someone translate that for American? How many miles is 700 meters? P-Money in the building, in the flesh and blood. When I'm on a ship. Bro, really? Bro, P-Money be sailing big ships. Holding someone's finger. That's not my finger, Umi. Let go.
It's going to be a direct collision.
Oh, shit!
Schettino immediately commands the ship to start
Yeah,
turning
buddy.
away. 335. Not enough. The captain shouts, 340. The captain yells, 350. Now, remember how I said that
Why didn't they
accelerating
use
to
the
16
emergency
knots
brake?
was a fatal error? Well, that's because it's made this
Right,
ship
so-
incapable of such a drastic turn.
I'm in the Navy.
What
Bro, I know you're in the Navy. Of course. Of course I do that.
they've got is understeer. Here's an example.
The front end is not working. You're turning, and you're just going straight. You want to go over here, but you're going to end up over here.
Bro,
So-
it's like Lightning McQueen. Turn left to go right. Bro didn't watch Lightning McQueen and it shows.
Despite the order of 350,
He didn't watch
right now
Coles.
the bow is still only pointing at 327. Not
Only the
nearly
parking
enough
brake.
to miss the
Throw
rock.
down the anchor!
And oh no, it's about to get worse.
I wouldn't let this happen.
That language
Chad.
barrier again. In these critical moments where every second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340. The captain snaps back, 350 starboard or we end up on the rocks. The third officer goes to assist the helmsman. Now, don't get confused by the orders from here. We're changing over to rudder instructions. The captain
Rudder
yells, starboard
instructions?
10, starboard 20.
Damn! I just thought it was a steering wheel and that's it. Honestly, driving a boat seems kind of complex.
And still, it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go. But at this point, even if they clear these rocks, they need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells, midship, which centers the rudder. The bow is now less than 150 meters from Skull Rock. Port 10. But the helmsman only gets to port 5 before another order is given 2 seconds
no!
later. Port 20. They might just avoid disaster here, maybe. But then, oh no. One more time, the helmsman cocks up at the worst possible moment. The helmsman goes to starboard instead of port, undoing the swing. 8 seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late. He has just turned a probable near miss into a sure hit. All they can do now is hold on as the bow of the ship narrowly
Chat, hold on, chat. We're about to take water.
passes by the rocks.
Water.
Hard to port. The second officer yells, "We're gonna hit!"
Ah!
Collision.
Snapchat characters. Damn. The spaghetti! Man. I can't forgive him. The spaghetti fell. The spaghettis. Can't believe this guy cocked up. No!
Downtown, Nordtown.
Man! Not a NordVPN
Oh.
ad.
I'm
A little.
country, so of course, this job all the way down. But I get, man, a very VPN. Oh. The ship hits rocks on the port side. A 53-meter gash opens up in the hull, and thousands of tons of
On the
water begin
job.
pouring in.
Damn, bro. You think they let this cat? This is his third accident.
A loud scraping and bang is heard by all passengers. At the helm is panic. Rumblings in the dining room. Martin awkwardly pauses his act as he's helping his assistant into the
Morton.
box. Meanwhile, the lady inside
Let me
is
out,
trapped
let me
and
out.
terrified. There's confusion across the ship. All of the crew off shift come back on duty. All officers run to the bridge. Technical crews run down to the lower decks to assess damage. On connection with the rocks, they lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots. And they are now adrift. Close the watertight doors at stern. Enormous volumes of water are pouring in. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision, all 6 engines stop working through flooding.
Damn! Boom! Yo, P-Money, assess this damage, Kowalski. Is this bad? How bad is it? Torque! Torque, 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 that is. Yo, P-Money, is this considered bad in a boating? Is this fixable? Will duct tape do the job?
22 seconds later, a blackout happens. Lights, electrics, the water pumps too, everything. The captain orders the helmsman hard starboard. This is the final position of the rudder before power to that too is lost. The Costa Concordia, now without power, is drifting starboard, plunged into absolute darkness.
You show me who's boss.
A quick
Not
breakdown of the
repairable,
flooding.
to be honest.
When the Concordia struck land,
Flex seal? Bro, if they don't have Flex seal, they're screwed.
it tore open 3
That's a lot of
watertight
damage.
compartments. At first, compartment 5, which filled very rapidly. Then 6 more slowly, 4 shortly after. Then 7, 8 and 3. Modern ships are built to withstand 2 compartment breaches. These compartments especially though are a problem because they contain the engines and the electrics.
Damn it.
These main generators give power to the whole
So it's majorly bad for them. Damn, P-Money on the warship.
ship. From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions. Pretty much
And they damaged the worst compartments. The electricity and the engines.
everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking cage. A few seconds later, the emergency batteries
Bro, then we better stock up. I'd be taking all that shit back to my room.
for internal lighting
Plate
and
after plate.
communications kick on. When the lights come back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage. And it caused a huge panic in the theatre as passengers are trying to flee to their cabins and to muster stations. People already in their cabins come out and start putting on life vests. Staff rally and try to calm everyone down. Everything is fine.
Yeah,
There's
bro,
no need
just-
for
just
vests.
drink the water.
Please return to your cabins. The emergency generator starts. All of the watertight doors close except for door 12.
What if somebody was standing in the doorway and you smushed them? Bro, make sure you get the sushi. You want to get things that are going to last. You know, like things that aren't going to go bad. They have moments to seal those tight areas to prevent the rest of the ship from sinking. Damn it! Damn it! We're fucked! I'll save the day.
12, which is jammed. The captain calls Pilon, the chief engineer, as the ship begins to list on the port side. There's water coming in? Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes! There's water, you can't go down. Let's go down the other side. In a moment we'll start the pumps, I'll let you know. In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd, further increasing panic. On the bridge, an announcement is being prepared. They are going to lie to prevent a panic. Listen.
Yes, chat. Rule number 1 in a catastrophe. Lie. Rule number 2, stuff your pockets in the buffet.
Just say we have a blackout.
Probably the one to stay calm.
The deputy chief
Would it be smart to start cannibalizing as soon as possible P-Money in this situation?
engineer enters the engine control room. He confirms to the bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded. Announcements are made.
We want the captain to inform you that due to an electrical fault, which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the situation and will inform you of developments as they occur. Thank you for your attention.
Coincidentally, at
Hey,
the same
smooth.
time in the restaurant, they're playing My
The
Heart Will Go
buffet.
On, and it's
Chat, I need a cigarette. Can neither confirm nor deny.
very much not helping the situation. The captain calls the Costa Crisis Unit. Roberto Ferrarini. He tells the crisis unit that they've hit a rock, that they're assessing damages, and that they are also in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the rudder, let alone the engine.
What an idiot.
You know, hoist the sails? Anyway,
play.
around this time, the
Bro,
wind
honestly, I would start DJing and everything would be fine.
direction creates a starboard lift,
Just
and the
die.
ship begins to turn anyway, drifting right back towards the shore, which is a very good thing
Hey!
because you want the ship to end up as close to shore as possible. A panicked passenger
Nice.
senses that something is off. This isn't like any electrical problem that she's ever seen. Plus, there was a massive crashing noise, and now the
Criminal.
ship is
What would
tilting.
you play,
So,
Cat?
she contacts her daughter
Play
in
the
Italy.
boat crash.
The daughter then calls the
Kumbaya.
police. And
What
the
song
police
do you play? Like, what would make things better? Like, be honest, chat.
call the harbour master. While that
Bring
goes
back
on,
pork.
a conversation between
have a
Pilon
conversation
and
we have to
Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made
I'll
contact?
play, staying alive, staying alive. Near my God to thee. Man, what the hell?
Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced. Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything. They're saying at this point that the ship is going down. The captain calls Roberto Ferrarini again. Actually, 2 compartments have been
That's
flooded,
sick, yeah.
but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't in danger.
I'm
Wrong.
like, listen, guys,
Peasant-
we about to die, but shake some ass.
Just begin going to muster stations on their own initiative. The cruise director says, "We have a lot of people at muster stations that I do not want to fall overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges?" Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master from Livorno calls the ship. The captain tells them that we just have a blackout. How long has this blackout been going on? About 20 minutes.
It's flying.
Have you asked passengers to put
Get
on
it
life vests?
sexy.
It's just a blackout. I
You're
gotta go.
immature for that.
The harbour master is suspicious. He says to his superiors
We're
that he
going
thinks something
down.
more is going on.
Justin
He calls
Timberlake, we're going down. I'm yelling timber.
a patrol boat to the area and asks them to look at the
Timber.
ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pilon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. The captain is on the phone to the lower decks, asking pointless questions like, "Is it still flooded?" Yes. Yes, it is. The
Yeah,
captain is
damn it.
essentially in denial of the situation. The harbour master calls
Useless.
again. Finally, he says, "The ship is taking on water through an opening in the left side and the ship is listing." He qualifies with, "No
Side note, this YouTuber does a lot of good editing and a lot of good voiceovers for his videos. This is the same editor that did the Rain First video we watched 2 days ago.
one dead or injured." The harbour master asks if he needs help. "Just a tugboat?" When in reality, they need a full rescue. With 3 compartments flooded, the captain finally realizes that things are really bad and they are not going to improve.
He's
The
trying to
Coast
save
Guard
his
orders
job.
every available ship to the sea. Meanwhile, up with the passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, "Everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or hang about in the lounges, no problem." She said this despite knowing it was wrong and that it further endangered lives.
He says water like water. He's British or something, I'm sure. Throw the cat. Bro, this is his 3rd crash, too. We've entered Titanic failure. Fuck.
Most passengers at this
Fuck
point
me.
though aren't listening to this nonsense, and they're busy figuring out how to abandon ship.
They need
Bing, bing,
Captain
bing, bing,
Sing.
bing, bing, bong. Local television
This looks like a job for a DJ.
has
Sorry.
already picked up the story,
I
and they begin
actually might be
broadcasting a live
autistic.
radio feed
Ah!
from the bridge. "Captain, the passengers are going on board the boats." "Okay, let them go to shore." "So then general emergency?" "Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini." "We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems, 100 degrees. The cooling fan has stopped."
think you
Pilon
are.
calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response, he orders the engine room to evacuate on his own. The captain says, "No, stay. We're leaving." So what do? General emergency?
A mutiny.
The captain tells Ferrarini that he's abandoning ship. Abandoned ship. Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The situation is under control. Please remain calm. And at this time, proceed to your muster station. They're located outside on deck 4.
The Livorno Coast Guard calls again. The captain declares distress. The Coast Guard officially calls for rescue operations. They contact Pietro Mille, the helicopter base commander, who then calls in every available pilot as he rushes down to the helicopter base. Pilon shuts down the emergency generator for the final time. The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point, the lifeboats are already going. Luckily, the ship is very close to shore. Oh, perhaps too close to shore. The ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven center of gravity, and it begins heavily listing starboard. The captain issues a general emergency on board. The announcement
The captain does not know what the hell he is doing. You said caption. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Hell yeah, Pacey.
to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring out, and with that comes panic. And now that they're listing, With many of the
Caption.
lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water, there aren't enough readily available, and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off. The patrol boats report to the Livorno harbour master that the ship has run aground and is listing heavily. So the harbour master asks the captain about it, and the captain says,
Why does not too much? Why does listing sound worse than what it is? Why can't they say, "Hey, that shit's tipping over. It's tipping over."
No, the ship is still floating. In fact, we're trying to maneuver it onto the shore. They know he's lying. Hold on, I'm reversing it. Beep, 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 beep. The captain then says to bottom out the starboard anchor.
Bottom.
So they drop out the anchors, but let out too
bottoms.
much chain, effectively rendering them useless. The deputy mayor of Giglio,
Yeah, this guy, you
Mario
need them,
Pellegrini,
right?
and tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at the harbour. They watch the scene unfold. As the first of the lifeboats arrive on shore, the deputy mayor takes the initiative and races to board one of the lifeboats, returning to the ship, and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up and starts helping passengers. Scatino tells everyone to leave and take radios, but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit. Priorities. Dimitri Kostidis and Silvia Koronica leave with him. The maitre d' and Sir Morton both get
Bro,
out
he
of
did not want people to know he was the captain. This guy stinks. Bro, he wanted to get off there nice and safe.
there. By this point, approximately 300 people are still on the ship. Millet reaches the helicopter
It
base.
takes over.
The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta
no
Bell,
return,
was
I
already
think.
rising from the
Damn,
tarmac
Alu.
for the hour-long
Bro,
flight
Alex is
south.
smart as hell.
Bozio is the last
If we ever get a real cult, bro, you can be one of the cult teachers, teaching all the cult babies.
crew member left on the
Not
bridge,
listing.
coordinating evacuation. He then leaves to help passengers board lifeboats. The bridge is now abandoned. And then, the ship's black box stops working. Apparently there were technical problems with it. That means, from here, things are going to get a little foggy in detail. A while later, rescue helicopters arrive, but they're struggling to find the ship because they're expecting it to still be well above water. Passengers are scaling down the port side by ladder as lifeboats return to pick them up.
Damn!
This is no joke. Oh my goodness. It was no joke.
Kinda correct. Dang. I would not be happy. What about all your stuff that's in the rooms?
Passenger
Yes.
is not allowed to make a film
I'm
movie.
allowed.
Who say you are?
Damn! Who is that nosy bitch? Bro, punch her right square in the nose. You're not allowed to film. I just almost died on this boat, bitch. Fuck out of here.
The second helicopter, a faster model, sets off. The ship stops healing and comes to a final resting place. Now the Coast Guard calls the captain because he's
What if everyone goes to the other side of the ship and hangs off the side, and their combined weight lifts the ship back to the other side, chat? Think about it. Think about that. The captain didn't think about it, but Captain Sen did, bro. See?
just learned that the
Film
captain has
movie.
abandoned ship.
Bro, I would tell her I'm about to film a movie with your mom tonight.
The captain claims, no, actually I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats. Ooh, I'm a klutz. But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore. DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck back on board. And the captain kind of acts confused and then effectively refuses. So the captain makes it to shore.
What up,
From
Buzz?
here, we only have
Yo,
mainstream news
agent. What up, man? Thanks for the raid.
reports to rely on, so it's not going to be super accurate. But they say that
Patrick
Giglio's
Physics.
police chief then finds
Can
110
do that
survivors
so
on the
easily.
rocks at Point Gabbianara, and among them is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there, and in fact, the police chief claimed that he
That
just
sucks.
sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescuing.
He
A
sucks.
while later, a
I
rescue
mean, bro,
boat picks
honestly, would you really want his help with how he is with boats?
up the captain and takes him to the harbour. He speaks to the police. He then finds the ship's onboard chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and cries to him for about 15 minutes. Then he goes to the harbour master's office
Hell
to
no.
receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life.
Yes,
Port
Jish.
authorities ask the taxi driver,
Bro, what about this? Everyone swims under the boat. The combined effort, they all lift it up into the air, and they all carry it to shore. Very slowly, so no one gets crushed.
to take the captain back to his hotel. The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to
Yeah,
the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie,
He
he was
can lift
beaten
the
like a
boat.
dog. He was cold and afraid. He only asked me where he could buy a pair of fresh socks. But then he perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship. What happened, Captain?
We were the last to leave the ship.
What a lie.
All day Saturday, rescuers searched for people on the ship. On Sunday morning, he
Hello? Cruise Ship Corporation, you want me to be captain? Chat, they're watching me stream. I'm now Captain Sin. Hell yeah.
Korean couples
We
found
take off for our maiden voyage right after stream.
in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had
There's still people who slept through it.
slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin. The last survivor, Manrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin's service director.
Yay.
In the end, 32 people died. The final body wasn't discovered
he's
until
kinda
nearly
like,
3 years later.
Dan Bilzerian.
A crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's
I'll have
believed that he
sail.
died a hero.
You can be my cabin boy. I'm not sure what that is, but I've heard that in shit before. Was that a cruise ship? Yeah, it was a cruise ship.
Helping passengers off the ship. The Costa Concordia
Damn.
was the largest cruise ship disaster since the Titanic. And then there's the ship. This is what happens to a
Jesus Christ.
110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over in the ocean.
Yikes. How are those bottles still standing? And a captain of a cruise ship, and a DJ, and a streamer. Who stole the flooring? That's awful, damn. I would love to explore it.
But this isn't the
Titanic
end.
back up.
It's just the halfway point.
That'd be sick.
What most people know is that the Costa Concordia had crashed, many dead, and that the captain abandoned ship like a coward. But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to untangle.
Spaghetti.
Let's dive in. There they are. The deets.
Ooh. Love me some good deeds. It's taking a nap.
Loot box time. The Costa Concordia was more than just a floating resort.
cutscene.
It was
I
a mall,
love these.
a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching. This iron chest was full of safes and cash registers.
Oh, don't remind me of Overwatch loot boxes. I miss them so much, bro. Oh my god, I miss. Ugh.
And expensive fittings. And there were plenty of gamers prepared to sneak by authorities and try their luck in the hot zone.
Me. What we
Within
dropping?
days, police divers reported that valuable items, once seen lying around the ship, were now missing. High-end liquor, expensive furniture, dining sets, cash from the casino, cash registers, jewelry and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists, as well as the
What the fuck?
iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the
Those
ship.
loot boxes
It was
were
never
crack
found.
for I miss them, bro.
Who steals a big
Tina.
fuck-off bell? Even the server admins were getting involved. 4 divers who were part of the company contracted to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship. A patrol boat was dispatched, and the men were caught inside the fancy suites with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged with stealing and thieving
Damn.
and
That's what you get for stealing. Stealing, thieving, not around these parts. I can't lie. What the fuck would you do with it? I'm obsessed with the ocean.
pension. Later on, stolen as well as legitimate
I found
items
out.
found their way to Amazon and eBay. Chips from the casino, postcards, and cabin access cards became highly sought after souvenirs.
It even has a
Damn.
watermark.
Some Australian guy even
Love
made a
me a
listing for the
watermark.
ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect. And although there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
Damn you, man. The relationship.
I know you want to see Scatino go to jail, and we'll get to that. But first, we have to talk about someone else. Domnica Samorton.
That was a close one.
It was her fault.
There was speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because
It was her fault. It couldn't have been the guy's fault.
she was the captain's mistress.
Tense media speculation.
Bro, chat, what are we gonna do about this?
Reports that her presence
Sounds
distracted
familiar.
the captain.
They both denied their love for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome.
Damn!
And
yeah,
how could you not?
It was a noise shit.
Fucking precious when
So
you
DJ.
smile.
But she says there was no romantic
What the
link
fuck was
between
that
them.
edit?
Some people
Do you not?
You so fucking precious when you smile.
But she says there was no romantic link between them.
some people would like to believe, they want to know I have something with him. It's more interesting. It's like, you know, some spicy in the story.
Miss Morton also loved the spotlight, however,
Everyone! Oh no!
and took several interviews. But as the pressure mounted
The
upon
salamander.
her, she began making ominous threats to Scatino.
Precious is Katina, I give you 1 week to tell the truth about what happened immediately after you did the announcement to the abandoned ship. 1 week.
Saying he must confess,
Huh?
and that you have but 1 week to come clean. But things from here get weird.
Spicy.
Sir Morton is a bit of a wild card. In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package. Huh? And what was that package? Drugs, apparently.
What?
So rumors began that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia.
Making a joke
And not
about
without
this.
cause. A number of cruise ships, even
Yeah.
recently, have been caught trafficking drugs.
Yeah, actually, I've heard that rumor before that cruise ships, like in cruise, people who work on cruise ships are known to sorry, to smuggle drugs. Sorry.
As an aside, Scatino was tested for drugs immediately after the crash. He tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine
Pussy!
were found in a hair
Do
sample.
some drugs, you pussy.
Smoother and less dry.
Nonetheless, the Concordia was searched and no drugs
Cruise
were
ships, Neo.
reportedly ever found.
Jeez.
How did we get here? Oh, right, a helicopter. Sir Morton commented on it again the next day and said, actually, that helicopter was just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay, wait.
I don't trust
So she
anything
expected to get
says.
some sort of first-class rescue while
yeah.
everyone else was still stuck on the ship? Wait, how did we get here? Oh, right, sex with the captain. Divers were quick to head to the
She just
captain's
wants
cabin
attention.
where they found Miss Sir Morton's lingerie and other articles of clothing as well as a makeup bag. The jig was up, but they continued denying it. Sir Morton mostly
Damn.
faded from international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony. The judge pressed her to be truthful about their
She reminds me of Lemonhead from that one episode of Drake and Josh. Remember Drake's like, I can be honest, your head looks like a lemon.
relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
That's a big callback. That's really gonna take some memory to remember that. Who remembers that?
Tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally, she admitted it.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
Stop.
But now, stop asking about my private life.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
What is up,
What the fuck? Why the fuck is Keemstar on this?
Alert Nation? Citino cheated on his wife with C. Mortan. Oh my god!
She and Scatino had been having an affair for several
dead.
weeks. She also said that
This
on the night she
guy.
boarded, she didn't have a ticket
please.
and didn't need to pay because nobody questions you when you're the captain's lover. Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving court.
I want to say that today is the second time I die because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems. And today I died the second time because, of course, people find out something that I try to hide.
Subsequent to the trial, she used her fame and
Bro, why is she acting like this is she's so special? She's so like huge and big, like she's some celebrity. I wish she would have actually died. I'm kidding.
Moldova to
What?
become a political
What
activist, often appearing on television and radio and in articles covering protests, accompanied by pictures of her being arrested by police. It was some stuff about victims of violence, women's rights,
Girl power?
yada yada yada. And
Hell yeah.
interestingly,
Chat, I was gonna say, girl power. Can we get some girl powers in the chat?
part of a push to block the
I
sale of
love
shares of
girls.
Moldova's train network to Russia. Other than that, I don't really know what she's been up to. Let me just check on her Inst. Oh God, no.
66 likes. She's flying planes now? Ah!
Not again.
To 15 minutes of extension, girl power. Love you, P Money. We'll miss
Several
you, bro.
civil suits were quickly lodged against Costa Crociere, and their parent company, Carnival Cruises, immediately saw a share drop of 23%.
Yikes.
Passengers sought compensation for their damaged mental health, lost belongings, and loved ones.
Either they allowed him to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship was taking at the time.
Look at Jesus.
And was not only taking, but the time the ship was...
Claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route. But that wasn't true. Approval isn't required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating route,
Already?
and they
Damn.
tacitly encouraged sail by
What up,
salute.
Seal?
Now, in response to the civil suits, Costa Crociere offered passengers 11,000 euros each as compensation.
Damn.
That's kind of small.
11,000 euros, about $14,000, is the minimum compensation under international law when a ship is abandoned.
This was to reimburse them for their tickets, as well as any costs they accrued in having to unexpectedly travel home early.
Man,
And
14K is
that
a
was
lot.
supposed to release them from everything and anything that has to do with this accident. I cannot ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers, understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused to take the money.
We think the offer is an insult. For what these poor passengers went through, we think that the compensation being
Welcome
offered
in,
is not
everybody.
commensurate.
A boat sank.
Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later, Costa Crociere would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial. The judge agrees. Costa Crociere is now off the hook for all criminal liability for the whole thing. They've washed their hands of the incident and flexed the residual droplets of responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members. Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that the company has been able to avoid
What
criminal
we're watching, it's about a cruise ship that sank.
responsibility.
They're going
Offered is not
crazy.
commensurate.
Civil suits against the company continue. By the way, the residents of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They didn't get much. Eventually,
Money.
passengers who refused the initial compensation of 11,000 joined civil parties against Scatino in his trial in
Is
2015.
not commensurate.
They were awarded 30,000 euros each. Other cases, especially those
Damn.
involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
People died, chat. That's crazy. Man, what the fuck?
New York
In the
attorney
weird
Peter
maritime
Renee
law.
traveled to
What's
Budapest
maritime
to
law?
represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
Are you back, chat? After this, we are watching MILF Manor. MILF. Time for our MILF time.
At Renee, we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to get you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case cropped up via email. An elderly woman, a loner, said,
"Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana."
so Mr. Renai agreed to speak with her.
Roxanne.
However, there were some inconsistencies in her story. Neither Eva nor Roxana were on the passenger list. Odd, but Costa is known for having stowaways.
Gotcha, bitch.
Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious. They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they? Renai inquired further about why she was on board, especially without a ticket. Ilona said,
Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
He'll know all the details.
I'm up all night. I'm going crazy, he said. But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked, how much money do you think this is worth? This is a huge red flag, Petey.
What the fuck?
In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about money. Why now?
Hell yeah,
So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Ahoy hoy, it was the boyfriend again. Look, there's been a bit of a misunderstanding and the child isn't missing at all. Uh-huh. And then he claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before.
Me.
Oh.
Me
Okay,
before
can I
Silver
speak to
Summer.
the daughter then? At first, he was refused. So Renai said that he'd have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't. The boyfriend relented. That night, Renai met with Zolt and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. Yeah, I saw her today. Oh, really? Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on the swings. Oh no, the jig was up. So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. It's a miracle. And the story changed again. Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't
Damn, why do people want money so bad? Actually, I already know the answer to that.
worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injuries. Old Petey, I'm
Me
beginning to
leg.
think they weren't even on the boat.
I love
Also,
when
it turns
rich
out this
people
lady
talk.
isn't her mum, it's just a neighbor. Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money. And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam, because Hungary, a former communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
Chat, we're moving to Hungary. Bro, I already know so many insurance scams. Let's do it.
The law firm that never sleeps.
We about to get rich.
1-800-6647.
Oh, that's a
We about to get rich.
Oh, that's a very
My
bad
leg!
idea.
I cannot wait.
Mario,
Mr. Krabs.
would you teach
got
me some
crabs.
Italian?
Oh, of course.
Means get back on board for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio De Falco, the naval officer who shouted at Scatino to Vada a bordo caso, became a bit of a national hero overnight
That's
in
dope.
Italy. He, like the rest of the world, expected Scatino to go down with the ship.
So this will be like That's crazy.
And when the captain chickened out, De Falco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast. When the captain first reported
That's
just a blackout,
crazy.
De Falco didn't believe the story and immediately began preparing a rescue effort, which likely saved several lives. His actions were
Down
applauded
with
by
the
most
ship.
Italians
You're
who were
just
tired of their
depressed.
public servants being corrupt and avoiding responsibility. Accordingly, shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by the end of the week, others setting it as their
No.
phone's ringtone. But then, in September 2014, without warning, De Falco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Hear what I said? You've been demoted.
De Falco said that he had been passed up for
Band of
promotion,
Brothers is
that he
such
had
a good
also
show.
not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to, and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career. De Falco was tres furioso, and there was public speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways. On the other hand, his boss said, no, it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers and that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in
Damn.
office politics, so let's leave that alone.
Goes.
And anyway,
For
in
real,
2018, De Falco said, Buenas
Did you ever
noches.
watch the other series where they're in the Pacific? I forgot what it's
Later to
called.
the Italian Navy to become
That
a
was good
politician.
too.
In March that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno. He still serves there today.
I'm the captain now.
Hell yeah. shit, it's not over.
The day after the disaster, Schettino was taken into custody by police and underwent questioning. However, it was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli. By July of that year, the house arrest was relaxed and he was allowed within this general area. While under house arrest, he wrote a book with this journalist from Rai magazine. I have no idea what it says, I don't speak Italian. But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
You can't keep getting
Bro! He can't drive boats, but he's good with the ladies.
Hold on, I got it.
That's crazy.
Not content with abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well. So, Schettino and 5 others are facing criminal charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the court, and all of those plea bargains are accepted, except for Schettino's. And the condition of everyone's reduced sentences are that they must provide witness testimony against Schettino.
He touched me.
Ciro, Jacob, and Silvia were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service or house arrest. Not a bad deal.
A good deal. Good deal.
And that meant that Schettino was now all on his own. Ciro, the first officer, was the first to give his testimony. On the witness stand, he claimed that...
That's crazy. They're going to jail just for, like, messing up at their job. I mean, I know people died and stuff, but, like, I would never want a job like that. That's why, like, when I thought about being a police officer, what up, Judge? The more I thought about it, I was like, damn, bro, I could, like, have one bad day on the job and go to jail forever.
That Schettino was distracted by his mistress and other guests on the bridge.
Oh my God.
That there was confusion over who
nice
was in
boat.
command. Then it was Jacob's turn, and he said Lamal XD because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta. And when they said, "Oi, we still want that witness testimony," he just scalped again, and he hasn't been found since. After that, Ferrarini gave his testimony, then look, we don't have time to relitigate the whole trial, so let's just go straight to the verdict. Guilty! Schettino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities. He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison.
Damn!
But wait, there's still the appeals. The appeals trial begins. And the verdict on the appeal? Surprise! Rejected! So Schettino's lawyers appealed again. And the verdict on the final appeal?
Schettino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal but was denied by the prosecution each time. The prosecution called for Schettino to be sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a Titanic affair.
Oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Schettino was not present. His lawyers stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected,
tell me it wasn't what I think it is.
He could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
Damn.
Said I will not be making any comment. Oh, that hurt.
The salvage operation was enormous. It took over 2 years and cost an estimated $1.2 billion. Beginning in early 2012, they first spent 2 months pumping fuel from the ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around. In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform. The sponsons were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly. By late 2013, the ship was upright once more. The sponsons were then attached to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested partially above water and crews could walk around safely. By July 2014, the water was removed from the sponsons.
It's about a cruise ship that was crashed and sank.
And compressed air was pumped in to lift the ship. And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa. It was a 4-day towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of dismantling and recycling would begin. That same weekend of the towing, Scatino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the front page of a local newspaper,
What the fuck?
flanked by two of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes.
Concordia.
Anyway,
See you, man.
so these are the things that I remember from the Costa Concordia. That sweet maiden of the sea. And as for you, little fella, well, it's time to return you from whence you came.
White-hearted. What do you mean by that? Nah, tell
6
me.
quick things. 1. NordVPN, good product.